watches all the time, ruling Gotham from a shadowed perch behind Granted and Lime. They watch you at your hearth. They watch you in your bed. Speak not a whispered word of them, or they'll send the talon for your head.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the Detectives of Gotham, or better known as the Dog Show. I am, of course, Detective Rand, and with me is Senior Detective Garrett. Mr. Garrett, what do we have today?
Well, Detective Rand, we have the Talon. We've been talking the Court of Owls and their nefarious ways sitting in the shadows of Gotham and kind of watching what goes on and controlling things from a different perspective in political and different avenues that they can control. But we're going to talk about their assassin, the person that, or the people they send out to do their bidding because they don't want anybody to know who they really are. So they have these assassins who will go and do their dirty work for them, and they're called Talons or the Talon, as the case may be, because sometimes there's more than one, sometimes there's only one. But we're going to dive a little more into some of who the Talons were, who they are, what some of their uh, strengths are, what some things they do, um, their immortality, that kind of thing. So we're going to give them a little background, a little history, and then some things to look out for.
All right. I've asked our friends from Metropolis to come join us, and I don't mean Big Blue. Got Detective Marshall.
How's
from
everybody?
The Special Crimes Unit.
Welcome, sir. Welcome.
Thank you. How's everybody doing?
Doing well.
I figured you could get in on this because word has it that the Court of Owls not only is infested in Gotham and has its grassroots in Gotham, but their reach is as far as Metropolis or maybe even more.
Why, yes, they have been known to reach farther than Metropolis, pretty much across the pond to old Europe, and we've been affected by it here in Metropolis as well. So yeah, everybody's being touched by them.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Court of Owls kind of has their talons, if you will. They're in different aspects across all walks of government and life and politics, as well as banking institutions. They kind of control a large population of different trades, be foreign and domestic, whether they be of a savory nature or not.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are not immune to that here in Metropolis. So yeah, we've been affected by it.
Makes total sense. Detective Rand, well, what do you think is the best course of action for running this dossier on the Talon? Should we give some background first, or how do you want to do this?
Well, I think we should go ahead and let's give a little bit of some information on what we know about this mysterious figure, this top assassin, I guess, if you will. Where do these younglings come from? These talons, these. I guess the best way to say it would be what? Night walkers, zombie ninjas.
Zombie ninjas.
I mean, we got some wild stuff here in Gotham City, but this takes the cake.
Yeah, I would say zombie ninjas is probably the most direct term because they're not completely alive and yet they're not dead either. Um, they are constantly brought back to life um, by a material that the Court of Owls use to resurrect certain people they feel would make a good Talon. One in particular, Uriah Boone. He's one of the oldest Talons. He's been active in Gotham since the 1600s. And they just keep reviving him every time that he gets killed or taken out or anything like that. It's very interesting to see, how this process happens with the chemicals that the doctor uses and all that good stuff. Dr. Leviticus. Uh, as far as the whole, the Talon goes, like I said, the best way to describe them is an undead entity that is basically mindless. They only listen to what the head of the Talon or head of the Court of Owls says, and when they're sent for their prey per se, they do not give up until they have completed their mission. Either they completed their mission or they get killed, and the only way to completely kill them, fully, is to behead them, to completely, dismember them from one limb to another, and then bury those limbs in different corners of the earth so they cannot regenerate or be put back together. Um, Otherwise, the Court of Owls can, sew everything back together because Dr. Leviticus is a mad genius yet scientist at the same time and can sew everything back together and get them back up and running again. What do you think about that? How does that affect us here in Gotham as far as fighting something that essentially we try to kill, but then it just gets getting brought back to life?
Well, I'm between the Joker, Harley Quinn, now the Red Angel, the guy with the flaming sword. This is really turning into something. I actually have a little something here that I'd like to share with you.
Go right ahead.
And we've caught this off one of the city cams.
Oh, yeah. I saw that a while back, and I was like, this person definitely doesn't mind showing their face, even though they're supposed to be in the shadows. They definitely don't mind posing for the camera. It's just one good time.
So, Mr. William Cobb, I'm starting to see sort of a resemblance here, there, sir. Would you like to clarify some of this?
We're always here.
Okay. All right.
So,
This.
so Mr. Cobb, why have you chosen tonight to reveal yourself not only on camera but in voice alone? What is it that the Court of Owls has instructed of you to tell us?
To always be aware, we are always there.
A man of few words. Okay.
That's true.
See, we've got what? Batman, Robin, Nightwing, Batgirl,
Batwoman.
I mean, these nutcases just keep coming out of the woodwork here. I'm getting a little overwhelmed with secret societies and two-faced people and cat burglars. Now we have actual owl themed assassins.
I mean, we already had to deal with one foul character in the Penguin, and now we have to deal with a second one, or second side.
I think I'd rather deal with the Penguin than a Talon.
Yeah, at least with the Penguin, he made us laugh, but the Talon, I mean, he just wants to take our head.
Yep.
So I tell you what, let's break the fourth wall a little bit. Mr. Cobb, tell us how you put your cosplay together.
Basically, gloves with talons in it. Then I had to use metallic paint to paint the talons. Bought yellow glasses with the wired frames, so I could add the beak and the eye stalks and the under cheeks. And the rest is just layered, basically ninja outfit.
Very interesting.
All right. I have to say that I'm uh-oh. What's this? We had a brief sighting there, Detective Garrett.
I saw that. I definitely did, which is very interesting. I do have a dossier book that has really has kept me abreast of what the Court of Owls and the Talon has been up to. I'm gonna turn my camera on for just a minute so everyone can see this documentation that I have. That way we're all on the same page here. But as you see here, I do have the Night of the Owls, which is the complete dossier of everything about the Court of Owls and their Talon, how to fight the Talon, what's going on, the whole 9 yards. So any of their tactics or whatever they may not be aware of, it is all here. I was able to secure that copy for our records, and we will be able to use that for further investigations.
I don't know if we covered this in the first part, but the upper echelon of the elite of Gotham, and I imagine Metropolis, are sworn in, and I guess help keep funding this organization. Unlike the mob types we have here in Gotham. Do we have any other known how they're picking? I guess for their agents, for their Talons. Do we have any other information on that?
Yeah, so I'll give you. Let me fax the dossier up here one screen because there was one that really stood out to me that I wanted to bring up. Here, Mr. James Gordon Jr., the son of James Gordon, was revived as a Talon. So Mr. Gordon had gotten in with the wrong crowd and was being pressured. This is after his grandfather moved on and all that. His dad had moved on, and he's being pressured to do certain things, and he got in with the Court of Owls thinking they were the saviors of Gotham, and when he was killed in the line of duty, they revived him and made him a Talon, which was very, I guess, how's the best way to put this? Very true to nature of how they operate is they take a good name, something that is well respected in Gotham, and they turn it for their evil ways. Because he had made a few mistakes and thought that he was on the right side of the law, found that he wasn't. And when he was ultimately met his demise, they revived him. Dr. Leviticus brought him in as a Talon, and again, he became, for lack of better terms, a Borg, a mindless drone for their bidding. But Talons go all the way back, like I said, to say 1665 with Ephraim Newhouse. Ephraim Newhouse was the Talon of 1965. He's actually in the Night of the Owls storyline. He was revived and sent by the court to assassinate Oswald Cobblepot. And we all know Oswald Cobblepot is the Penguin.
Yeah. I also heard that they were looking to get Dick Grayson as a Talon because his great grandfather was a Talon in the past.
Yes,
Correct.
I am.
Yep. William Cobb is Dick Grayson's great grandfather, and they were
Yes.
looking to make Dick Grayson a member of the Court of Owls, and then ultimately a Talon. There has been a female Talon. That is Mary Turner. She's the Talon of the 1940s. Unfortunately, she was horribly disfigured at a young age by a bomb attack, which a balloon was sent by Emperor Hiroto in the United States during the World War II. That went off, and it disfigured her. She was originally part of the Birds of Prey with Batgirl, but unfortunately that did not pan out for her. And after meeting her demise, she became a Talon because again she had gotten mixed in with those other entities, thinking that they were the saviors of Gotham, and unfortunately they were not. And ultimately, Batgirl, she turned on Batgirl and the Birds of Prey, and became a Talon. So she's one of the very few female Talons. There's also a generation of Talons called the O'Malleys. If you all remember hearing the O'Malleys in the Gotham police dossiers as some of the sergeants that ran around Gotham in different precincts. James O'Malley, his son Brandon, and his grandson Nathaniel all became Talons. Mr. Jatsu Aki here, Jedi Joe says, what do you call the army of people that look like the Talon?
Those are
Mr.
the drones.
The drones.
I watched the well, I have it too. I mean, and I bought the action figures when they came out, the Talons Batman, the new 52 Batman, when they had that whole 52 run. I love the fact that they kind of adapted some of it from the comic, and this is where the comic kind of differs from the animation. And don't get me wrong, the animation is good. The only thing I didn't like about that their Batman, the 52 version of Batman, was that as long as he came up against a common criminal, he was quick to dispatch him. He was quick. I mean, one or two moves they were down. But it seemed like any villain that he came across, it took him a bit to take them down. And I kind of found that kind of, you know what I mean? I mean, this is Batman.
Right.
If there's anybody that you do not want to run into an alley with, I mean, no disrespect, Detective Marshall. But if Big Blue flew down at me, all I would have to do is say, I'm done. Take me in. And he's gonna, pick me up and coddle me off to jail, maybe give me a little lecture. But Batman? That is one alleyway I do not want to be in with a man dressed up like that. I I just, I love the fact that, they got into the cave and they did the whole cave fight, because that's, of course, is in the book. And, Alfred defending the Bat Cave, um, and everything else, and using cold to put the Talons back to sleep. I thought that was a stroke of genius, and then we get the Bat armored suit again. Um, and then I think the line of lines throughout that whole movie was, "You hurt my kid, so I'm going to enjoy this." When Batman goes after Talon,
Yes.
1-on-1, I thought
Yeah.
that was like the line of the movie. Um, I have a special place for the Court of Owls. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
100%. And I'll say this, we constantly talk about how, Batman is not a killer, that, they portray him, he's not a killer or whatever. However, we've seen countless times where he has gotten so close to that brink, it's almost impossible to come back from that. And, when he makes a line like, "I'm going to enjoy this," deep down there is something inside him that just enjoys inflicting that pain and taking it to that next level. And the fact that he knows that a Talon is essentially, a mindless drone. um he knows there's no feeling there, and he can inflict all that pain without them essentially um reacting to it per se. And that's the one thing that, I think he gets the most enjoyment out. I mean, if we go back and we see some of the live action movies, from, Batman '89, Batman, Returns, Batman literally took a bomb and handed it to one of the guys and walked away and just kind of snickered and laughed. I mean, we say Batman doesn't kill, but you hand a guy a bomb and walk away, one or two things going to happen. Either he's going to throw it and maybe live, or he's just not going to be here after that bomb goes off.
Yeah, I've noticed that they've depicted a lot of him killing in the more live action stuff, because even Batman versus Superman, when Lex Luthor stole the kryptonite, or was shipping the kryptonite, those guys in those cars could not have survived him, shooting him down, the driving another car through the car when he towed the car behind him and then let it go. Those people in the other car didn't survive that. So he has killed in live action, but he doesn't seem to kill when it comes to the animation. I guess that's the difference between the two.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have you have multiple directors doing. I mean, what was it? Uh, Tim Burton brings back. I hate to say it, but Tim Burton brings balls back to the Batman. For all these years of what we had campy Adam West, and when I say it like that, please don't take offense. Adam West gave me my love of Batman. He always has a special place for Batman. Um, the serials were great, for what they were, but Adam West gives me Batman. In 1989, June of 1989, we get Batman, and it's something we've never seen. And I tell everybody, it's truly not a Batman movie. It's more of a Joker movie than anything, because you get the origins of the Joker. Batman has already been established. He's already there. Even though you get the history of Batman, it's not kind of a retelling of that. You know what I mean? But you get Joker's real name, or at least one of the three names now of the Joker. Uh, Jack Allen Napier. And now you see this transgression of what he does. Remember, I mean, this Batman, I'm sitting in the theater and I'm watching these twin Browning machine guns come out of the Batmobile, and I'm like, wait a minute now, what are you what are you about to do here? And he lets loose the Batwing. When those missiles come out and that little Tommy or Gatling gun comes out, Batman ain't playing.
No.
Batman is not playing. What is it in Batman in Justice League? If you haven't seen that, watch that. There's a line where Damian tells Batman, yeah, we don't kill, but it's okay to maim them and put them in wheelchairs. So, what I mean?
It's funny that you mentioned Damian Wayne, because there's actually a Talon that attacks Damian Wayne later on, an old Talon from like the 1700s, and Damian, being the trained assassin that he is, without even a thought, just beheads the guy, just literally takes the guy's head off in one swoop of his sword. And Batman's just looking at him like, why, and but he understands. He has to rein Damian in from time to time, but we're telling him, we don't typically kill him, but we can put him in wheelchairs. But when it comes to the Talon, Batman has inflicted so much pain and punishment and enjoyed it, that he looks at Damian and just kind of walks away like, I understand. And that seems to be a theme when it comes to the Talons, is because they're essentially already dead, you can't kill something that's already dead. So
Right.
that's Batman's thought process behind it, is I'm going to rid this menace from society, and take care of it the one way that I know would be permanent. And I'm not doing what I said I was never going to do, because they're already dead. So I'm not breaking my code per se.
Totally get that.
Yeah, I was gonna
That's
say,
why. That's
absolutely.
why again, I'd rather have Superman take me in than Batman.
Well, yeah, Superman's just going to wrap me up and put some
He
handcuffs
doesn't
or whatever
kill.
on me. And, yeah.
He definitely doesn't kill. But Superman has taken it to a limit at one point, but only against Darkseid, because he knew Darkseid can handle it. But yeah, for the most part, he's probably just gonna hurt you, like really hurt you, but not even to the point of Batman either. So yeah, it's way better to get taken in by Supes than by the Bat.
Very true. And it's funny, with Superman, he's gotten to that limit. I've seen him go that limit before, where he's gotten so bad that he's literally, to keep from hurting someone, he has covered his eyes with his hand and just allowed those uh, red lasers to come out and like burn his hand, than to keep from hurting anyone else. But he's been pushed to that brink so many times, and he'd rather inflict pain on himself than to inflict it on someone else. Because I mean, you think about it, this is a intergalactic alien presence who can lift buildings, can jump buildings, who can fly, who has all these different powers. I mean, if he sneezed at you wrong, he could kill you. I mean, plain and simple. If he just sneezed the wrong way, he could send you flying and into something or whatever. Or if he wanted to freeze you to death, I mean, one good breath and he could freeze you. So he has to be very careful with how he treats the fragile human life that we are.
Well, that's one good thing about him, though. You have to admit, because I love that Justice League episode, because he told him, "Here's a real opportunity to see how strong I really am, because you can take it, can't you, big man?" And
Love that.
being a
Love that.
Batman fan,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, you need to check yourself next time you mouth off to this man.
Right.
I think the best part is that he punched Darkseid so hard the buildings around him exploded, and then he caught him 5 blocks later and punched him again. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And Taco Cat, I hate to tell you this, but Hulk does not take Superman in any stretch of the imagination.
no, no,
It just doesn't work that way, son.
no.
I hate to tell you.
Marvel will never hold a candle to DC when it comes to any type of superpowers. I'm sorry.
Well, they've done this. There's a great
Video that shows Superman versus the Hulk.
no, I'm talking about Deathmatch
Yeah,
on
match.
YouTube.
Yeah,
These guys actually break down the powers and they explain to you, why they would win based on their powers. It's not based off of popularity like that old DC versus Marvel, because there's no way in the world Lobo is losing to Wolverine. None. I don't give a damn how regenerative of people say that Batman is overrated. I think Wolverine is one of the Marvel's most overrated characters because he can regenerate. He once ate his own skin to keep himself alive in an iceberg.
I
Yet
feel the
Captain
same way about
America was
Deadpool.
frozen in an iceberg and went into suspended animation. But Wolverine gets to stay alive inside an iceberg and eat his own skin to stay alive. Okay, so
about Deadpool, but
I mean,
yeah,
it just
I was
kills
gonna say
me.
that
But
celebrity death
Deathmatch,
thing that you were talking, the celebrity death match, they also make sure that they put them at their peak performance. So
yep,
we're talking Superman at his most powerful, and they did the Hulk at his god level. So
yeah,
those are the comparison. It's not the one that you see in the movies. These are their top level when they say these things. So yeah,
yeah.
I have to agree. Those are some great stories. I've watched quite a few of them, like Goku versus Superman when Goku is in his God mode.
God mode, yeah. And then look, they came back with Goku. Well, Goku can go to Ultra God mode. I'm like, really? Really? It's still gonna be the same outcome.
Right.
It just kills me. Um, I mean, the DC is the equivalent of the gods. They're the equivalent of Greek mythology gods.
yes.
Okay? And Marvel kind of gives you kind of society's heroes type of thing. If you really want to get into that society type of mechanism with certain characters, what's trying to mirror society, giving Spider-Man powers at a teenager's level of a spider, but it's his parent, his uncle and aunt that root him in his goodness. Because I'm sorry, in this day and age, you could not give these whiny teenagers powers. They're lazy. Half of them are depressed. They don't want to do anything. They don't want to work. And can you imagine them running around with superpowers?
And if you want to see a great representation of that, just
Oh my God.
watch The Boys or the spinoff to The Boys. And I can't think off the top of my head.
Brightburn. Watch Brightburn.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's another one with The Boys that actually is the teenagers.
I thought it was
Oh,
like
God.
Gen Z or something like that.
Hold on.
I can't remember what that was called, but I know which one you're talking about.
Brightburn sent chills down my spine because that little boy was Superman. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry. At the end of that, I was like, this world is gone.
Yeah. And then they showed Aquaman and Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
So the name of the show is Gen V on Amazon.
Gen Z.
Oh, yeah.
Z?
Gen V. It is all
Z.
about
Okay.
the spoiled little brats that get superpowers.
Yeah.
So you want to really see, a representation of what it would be like. It's really that. So I think we've given enough information on Talon and what people need to understand about, it being an immortal, drone essentially. Mr. Cobb, do you have anything else to say before we get into Tidewater Comic Con and what our plans for Tidewater Comic Con are going to be? I'll take your silence as you've been instructed to say nothing else. So, Detective Rand, you said it best that we you know the Court of Owls is always lurking in the shadows somewhere. So I believe we've all decided that we've got our mask and we're going to dive into that Court of Owls cosplay. So give us a rundown, if you would, of like what the expectations are at Tidewater Comic Con for our Court of Owls cosplay, with having our own Talon being there with us.
Well, one, to be an impressive show of all of us, decked out in suits and I guess a nice formal dress for some of our female Court of Owl members. I to be honest with you, I only know of one, and I kind of think one is kind of plenty. You know what I mean? But if anyone else out there is listening and want to join us, you're gonna need your mask. Okay, you're gonna need your mask, and we might even give away a couple of masks while we're there. But to kind of show you guys what we're kind of about, that we're together as a unit, being out there, uh, sharing our love for the DC universe as villains for the first time, all of us. Uh, I believe Detective Marshall will be with us as well
Yep.
as we come into the forefront. Uh, I think it's going to be a great time to have photo ops with us, and we can tell you more about the groups, because not only are the Dogs of Gotham here connected with the Cosmic Portal, but we're also connected with 757 Geek Fandoms. And they do a lot of cosplay. There's a Stay Puff Marshmallow guy. We even have a Santa. I mean, we do a lot of other things, but this is something that we're all coming together with Imperial Virginia Renegade, or Virginia Imperial Renegade, I should say, excuse me, Mr. Rob Ash, who will be on hand, but I can't just tell you who he is. He will be on hand. So all three of us are teaming up to bring you this big cosplay for all three clubs. So please come out and show your support and come take some pictures with us. You might even win something. It will, of course, all be Batman with a smudge of Superman relation, as I should say, as we come out to show our love for, of course, our DC universe. And Tidewater Con is one of the greatest cons in our area, because it is so superhero heavy. That is one places that I noticed. I mean, yes, there's some anime stuff, but it's a lot of superhero stuff. And I think that's one of the things that I love about it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I know my spouse is very excited to delve into the Court of Owls. Genre. You all know she is a huge villains fan anyway. So for her to don the mask and to have the gown and essentially, be somewhat comfortable, but the mask is what really is the cosplay, along with the persona itself. Not so much just the mask, but the portraying that villainous character. She's very much looking forward to that. We have GalaxyCon in essentially 2 weeks. Um, I have broken down my barriers, and we're talking about cosplays. I will be going for the first time. You're going to hear it here first. I will be cosplaying as Oogie Boogie. I have my suit. She has her Sally cosplay. So we will be, there as Oogie Boogie and Sally in full regalia. And then on Sunday, it will be all um, leprechaun St. Patrick's Day themed, walking around as, leprechauns basically, for St. Patrick's Day. So that's what we're looking forward to. And of course, we will have representation for not only um, 757 Geek Fandoms, but the Cosmic Portal and the Virginia Imperial Renegades will all be represented, there with us, so that when we do these cosplay meetups between all three groups, everyone is equally represented and equally respected.
Well said, sir. Well said. I look forward to these things. I look forward to our love for the DC universe, and not that we're pretty much shitting on Marvel. Don't get me wrong. We all enjoy our Marvel stuff. It's just that we enjoy DC a little bit better or more because it's in our wheelhouse. So don't think that we're here just to trash Marvel and go, oh no, and roll our eyes. It's not that. Okay. My favorite movie is still the first Avenger from Marvel. You guys can keep Endgame and all that other stuff. They were good movies, but I like the first Avenger. That to me was epic. I love that. I love that end scene on it. I like my Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Right.
I like most of the older stuff. I
am a huge Black Panther fan.
I didn't know that.
Oh my God, Chadwick Boseman portraying Black Panther. That was when it came out. That was the only thing that year for my birthday I asked for. Take me to go see Black Panther. So when the second one came out, I was a little disappointed that it wasn't as as well as it was. It wasn't Chadwick Boseman, and I didn't feel that it gave the true representation of Black Panther that it should have. My wife is a Captain Carter fan. She loves Peggy Carter, and
she's not the only one.
Well, she doesn't just love Peggy Carter because of Peggy Carter. She loves the suit and how tight the suit is. Well, I'll just leave it at that.
Again, she's not the only one. I love Peggy with that shield on, though. That's my little,
I would say that was the best part of the Scarlet Witch movie, was seeing Peggy Carter in that. So
100%.
Yeah.
And
thank
you for calling it the Scarlet Witch movie, because it was never a Doctor Strange movie.
No, it never was.
No. But I like the original Doctor Strange. The first one was good, and I've always been a huge Spider-Man fan. So the last one was quite nice. I know you got all three Spider-Mans. That's why I liked it. But most of the time,
and that kind of needed to happen. They needed to bridge their gap. You know what I mean? Seriously, they opened up the multiverse to bring back people to the theater. I mean, COVID really messed us up. For 2 years, we couldn't go nowhere or do anything, and it was hurting. So they tried to pull together what they could to give us what they did. But I think as fans, we need to stop pretty much the really people, they shit on DC a lot. Okay, and this is why I take the stance that I do. And don't get me started, because I'll unravel that stuff for you and leave it at your doorstep and say, clean up your mess. These last couple of Marvel movies alone, I don't know where you think you were going with them or why you thought you were going with them, but there you go. I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. The numbers are there. People kept saying that, Captain Marvel did well for us. She's $1 billion. Yeah, your seats were padded. There were people literally showing us on their video vlogs. We're the only ones in here. And managers saying that people were buying out theaters. What people? Disney. Disney was buying out those theaters. It didn't do real numbers. I mean, you bought out the theater, you put your own money where you invested in, which was good, but it still didn't help it. Here's the thing with the movies that are coming out now. You have to stop saying that we as men don't respect your movies. You didn't make your movies for us. You made them for other females. You made them for other females, and they're not even going to your movies. So don't blame us when you didn't make a movie for us and we don't give you money to go see these movies. It doesn't mean that we're homophobic. Doesn't mean that we don't want a woman in power or a powerful lead character, and we need to stop saying that. We just need a character. We don't care her sexual orientation. We just need a good, well-written character. We could care less what she was or who she's doing,
or what
as
she has
long,
as.
yeah. I mean, they've got to do better. They've got to do better.
And for thoughts on that, see Big L's rants.
Right? We
Shameless
just got to
plug.
do better. But we're not doing better, and they're giving us this crap, and that's why it is what it is. DC has a clean slate. For me, I know Aquaman ended the Snyderverse. For me, Snyderverse ended with Black Adam.
100%. Couldn't agree more.
Snyderverse ended with Black Adam. I got to see Michael Keaton back in that suit, and that's all that mattered. And he went out like a champ. Hurt me to see it, sort of like watching Han Solo fall off that bridge, but there it is. Okay, so it is what it is. But we had a perfect ending to that. Now, this Batgirl movie, I heard it was trash. People said the same, and Warner Brothers, everything that was done digitally and restored, Warner Brothers wiped because they did it for tax reasons. And for those of you who keep saying they wouldn't really do that, yes, they do. This is a daily occurrence in Hollywood,
100%.
especially if studio hands change regimes and somebody new comes in. They will scrap projects heavily already done into it simply because they can write it off as tax, and they don't want to look the people going out to look good.
Fantastic Four movies, perfect example of that.
They do it all the time in Hollywood, and I don't understand why people don't understand. They always, no, it's about the money. No, it's not. Not to them. Look how many millions of dollars they're throwing away on movies that just aren't working.
They tank.
Yeah.
Badly.
Just happened with what is it? Sony just did it with Madam Web.
Oh my God.
It just wasn't my type of movie. I found out that there was no Spider-Man in it, and I'm like, well, how can you have a Madam Web movie without a Spider-Man?
Without Spider-Man, exactly.
That's what they make the main issue with. And I know they tried to blame it that men wasn't going to see it because it was an all-female cast. But most people didn't even understand, without Spider-Man, she's nothing, because that's where she comes from. And having all those spider people in the movie, but no Spider-Man makes no sense. So.
And how can you blame us, though? This is my problem with this whole logic. And even with Kathleen Kennedy saying this, there's a loud minority of people that don't want these movies made. So we, as this loud minority of people, made your movie fail. We're a minority. By definition, we don't have the power to do much. That's what minority means.
That's
so
it.
How do we make your movie fail because we didn't go see your movie? I got an idea. Make a better movie.
Make a better movie. Well, guys, I think we've used up our time for the talent here. I think we're all good. Do y'all have any final thoughts or words on our dossier today?
I can say this. the Talon is one of, if not the scariest thing ever brought forth in the Batman universe.
Could
Here
not agree
is
more.
here is an organization that helped build Gotham. It's got its tendrils into Gotham, and now stretching from here to Metropolis, and then across, like he said, the pond over into the old world. And you know, having Batman trapped in that maze. And I played Gotham Knights, and you get trapped in that maze in Gotham Knights.
Yes, you do.
I hated that damn maze. It took me a while to get out of there and that playing that game. And I play the Red Hood. Oh my God. They're just one of the scariest things that you could ever have. And these are the type of villains that Batman needs. Don't, again, no disrespect to Detective Marshall. Superman needs to fight the alien invasion. He needs to fight the giant crazy robots or the you know, the, I don't know, the other bad Kryptonians or whoever else that comes out of here that's flying around without vehicles.
World
Batman
killer.
needs to be
Something
grounded.
it's more something like a world killer. That's what
Yeah.
Superman. Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely agree with that.
You know what I mean? Batman, you know, they well, he's a strategist, and I get that. And I love that about my guy, that he's a strategist. But I need him taking on the mob. I need him doing that. Taking on the lunatics that are running around here being serial killers. Zaz, Riddler, Calendar Man, even Killer Croc. Then you can throw me in with a Bane. Wasn't really too impressed with Bane from the movie. I didn't like that. I needed my Bane to be South American. I needed my Bane to be the real Bane, to pump up with some venom, break the bat. You know what I'm saying? Give me something like that. But I've been a Batman fan since I've been 5 years old. I'm 53 now. I'm never going to change, no matter how bad the odds are. I'm always going to say, because he's Batman. Don't like it? Sorry about your damn luck.
I love it. Alrighty, guys. Well, thank you for everything. We appreciate you tuning in tonight to listen to our dossier, our opinions, our likes and dislikes, and look for us to come at you again very shortly. What we will probably do is put up a poll for 2 or 3 topics we have not covered yet, and let you guys vote on those of what you would like to see the next Dogs of Gotham show be about. Whether it be about Mr. Freeze or you know Catwoman or Batgirl or anything like that. Just let us know, and like I said, we'll be putting that up sometime here in the near future, and then we will choose one of those topics. Whoever gets the most votes, that's what we'll do. We're going to make it fandom choice. You guys are going to choose our next topic, so look for that. And with that, I will say, take care of yourselves. Be mindful of the Talon. You never know when he's coming for your head. And be always on the lookout for the whispers of the Court of Owls. Enjoy your night.